I'm very excited to chat with Melissa Maynard from Movement Mortgage, and she loves Frederick and can serve you whatever you need as when it comes to getting a new mortgage. Melissa, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
I am so fascinated. So, talking to you a little bit, you came from the property management background and thought, this is not where I want to be. And a friend got you into being a loan officer?
Yes. Yeah. So in property management for 18 years and decided to make a career change as I was approaching 40, and an opportunity fell in my lap and I haven't looked back. I love it. I feel like it's more like, obviously I love helping people get loans and getting them into a home because that's just a huge dream and it's a huge accomplishment. But what
Yeah.
I love most about my job is just like the networking and the relationship building that I get to do.
So tell me a little bit about Movement Mortgage. I have not heard of them, but obviously there's lots of different mortgage companies out there. What's the structure like? And if someone were to contact you for a mortgage, how does that work?
Yeah, so Movement Mortgage is actually the 10th largest lender in the United States. We are 40% nonprofit, so proceeds from every transaction goes towards our nonprofit foundation, which helps
Wow.
build charters. Yeah, so it helps build charter schools across the United States and underprivileged areas.
That's
So we
really
are,
cool.
yeah.
Bottom line to support.
Yeah, it's awesome. And then we also will reach out to all of our employees. I think it's once a quarter, just to see if there's any specific charities that they hold close to their heart that they would like some of the proceeds to go towards, and we all vote. So they're really big about just giving back to the communities in which we serve.
Well, that's excellent because a lot of people are really interested in supporting companies with some sort of social values, right? And so it
Yeah.
makes you feel like if I'm going to get a mortgage, whether it's from you or somebody else, and they're usually very competitive. So this might be the
Yes.
thing that puts you on top, which is great.
Yeah, I love it. And then at the end of every year, we'll send something out to all of our buyers and our real estate agents as well, and let them know, like, because of the transactions that you've done with us, you've been able to help us purchase X amount of backpacks or X amount of school supplies or whatever the proceeds went to, so that they can see their contribution as well, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's really great. Now I think your office is based in Sykesville, which is Carroll County, and that's okay. We love Carroll County too. But you serve people in Frederick County for sure.
Yes, I work with a lot of real estate agents in Frederick County. Actually, just started a podcast, so it's sponsored by Frederick Live, or Live Frederick rather. And yeah, so that's been really cool, just getting involved in that and the community. And then I do a lot in like Washington County as well, but a majority of my real estate agents are in Frederick County.
Okay, that's cool. And what's your podcast about?
So my podcast is myself and my colleague. Her name's Nicole. She is 23 years old. So we are providing like a different perspective on being like a female entrepreneur, some of the challenges that she faces being 23 years old in the industry, and then challenges that I face being a mother and 40 years old in the industry. Um, and
Yeah.
then just like our day to day, like what does the day to day look like? And what do we have in common? And we just kind of talk freely on each episode. So that's been fun and a little bit of a break from the norm.
Yeah. So I know with your role, it is, a commission only role, which means you have to go out and find your business and do those sorts of things. What would you say has been the biggest challenge of this role that you've had?
I think that it's really just self-motivated. You have to
Mhm.
always be on it. You have to always be pushing yourself. It's easy to get in your own head, and compare yourself against other people that may have a better month than you. So really trying to stay internally focused and consistent. Because I think if you remain consistent, then everything else just kind of follows. But it's easy to feel defeated and to get overwhelmed. So just being mindful when you get in a headspace like that to like pull it back and give yourself grace. That's,
Yeah.
I think, the most challenging part of this job.
Yeah. How I know for a lot of mortgage companies, it's been tough with the rate increases recently. How have you handled that sort of, you know, movement in the market?
Honestly, I don't pay any attention to it. I don't watch the news. I don't watch TV. If people start engaging in negative talk about it, I just walk away because at the end of the day, I have a job to do and there's people out there that need homes. So
Yeah.
there's always a solution to every problem. Interest rates are high. There's always solutions to maybe we can refinance later. Does the payment work for you? So I really just try to work with my buyers to ensure that I'm meeting their goals and just still getting out there because if I drown myself into the negativity, then it's just not going to help me be successful.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair enough. And hey, that's, honestly, sometimes not getting caught up in the whole, noise of all of that is probably a really good thing. Who would be like the ultimate person that would become a client of yours?
So, I mean, I work with everyone, whether it's first-time home buyers, veterans, really just whoever my real referral partners bring to me.
Hmm.
But I will say that I tend to provide a little bit more of like nurturing, a coddling approach. And I find that I work with a lot of females in the transaction, whether they're on the loan or not. They tend to be the one that has like the say in it, I guess. But yeah, but for the most part, it's really anyone that comes to me, I can help. So there's really no like specific niche that I specialize in. I do a lot of new build. So I do work with a national builder, and so that's a big portion of my client profile is people that are interested in purchasing a new home.
Okay. And what would you say is your point of differentiation if you have one versus like, maybe why should somebody consider you to handle their mortgage?
I think communication is really important and making sure that the buyer feels comfortable. So I just try to take the extra time to ensure that we're both on the same page, that they feel comfortable enough to ask me questions if questions come up, that I explain the process and every step that we're in because there's so much involved in a loan and purchasing a home. So I think that caring approach really goes a long way. I think when loan officers tend to get busy, if it's a more challenging loan, they just kind of push it off. And I
Yeah.
don't do that. I treat every loan the same and I treat all of my buyers the same and my referral partners the same. So I think that's what really helps is that they know that I genuinely care.
Yeah, that's great. What for the consumer side is the difference of going to somebody like you at Movement Mortgage versus the bank or another lender?
So banks typically are 9 to 5, and real estate doesn't stop. So working with me, we're doing loans or getting people under contract after hours if they need updated pre-approval letters. So you always have access to me. I tend to structure my loans like I'll dig a little bit deeper instead of it being like, oh, this is a problem, there's nothing we can do about it. I try to
Right.
find solutions, a way to make loans, be creative with the loans and find a way to make them work. And with Movement Mortgage specifically, us compared to other lenders is we actually do service our own loans. So a lot of the times after you close on your home, you'll get a letter stating that your loan's been transferred to a different servicer. And in our situation, that's not the case. So even after they close on their loan, they'll get a statement every month. It has my face on it. They can reach out to me. And at that point, we know a lot about each other. So it's nice that we'll still be able to maintain that relationship and they don't have to worry about like escrows and stuff getting messed up during the transfer process.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Hmm.
And I mean, again, I don't know every mortgage lender, obviously, but the fact that you guys are to the 10th, largest, that's pretty cool. If there
Yeah.
was one thing that you wanted people to know about you in particular, or maybe Movement Mortgage, what would that be?
I think I just like people to know that I'm just like them. I'm a mom too, and some of the issues that my buyers face, I've faced them as well. So really just transparency. Transparency is really important and knowing that I'm on their side. I think a lot of times when people go into purchasing a home, they get a little bit scared, intimidated. They think they might be judged based off of, their credit profile or whatever. And that's not the case at all. Like, we want your loan to close as much as you want it to close. And it's important to us too. So I think just the type of person that I am and knowing that, like, I have their back, that's probably the number one thing that's important for me is for them to know that and know that they can trust me to get them from point A to point B and
Yeah.
make it a smooth process.
Yeah, because it's stressful enough for sure. I know. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it is.
anything that can be there to help alleviate some of those hiccups is great. How can people get in touch with you if they would like to reach out?
So the best way is just to call me.
Sure.
Um, it's 619-549-3750.
Okay.
And you can find me on Instagram. So I'm pretty active on social media. My Instagram handle is at mmortgagemom. So there's a
Nope.
lot of M's.
I like it.
And yeah, so you can follow me, see what's going on, what's new in the industry, what's new happening with me, with my podcast. Or if you're interested in a mortgage or getting a home loan, rather, you can give me a call and I'm happy to help.
That's awesome. Well, we really appreciate your time this afternoon and wish you all the success with your latest career and hope that it lasts you a very, very long time.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on the show.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.